as everybody knows, Katt Williams appeared on Shannon Sharpe's podcast in January. And the day after he did that podcast, everybody was already saying, oh, this is the biggest thing of the year. This is like the number one segment that Shannon Sharpe has done. This is like Katt Williams' biggest moment. If he does more tours and shows later this year, he's going to gross a lot of money, all that stuff, and might possibly make even more money than like Chappelle and Kevin and some others. A lot of that's debatable. But nevertheless, I mean, Katt, he's still talented. And he went on that podcast, and that interview has over 61.93 million views. So almost 62 million views. And needless to say, he tore the internet up. He unleashed a comedy storm in which nearly every living black comedian responded to. I mean, they all had something to say about it. Some were in favor of what he was saying. Others opposed what he said. I mean, everybody came out. Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, D.L. Hughley, Cedric, Steve Harvey, all of them. Eddie Griffin, Ari Spears, D-Ray, Corey Holcomb. Just everybody came out. Just all of them. Now, I'm scrolling on newsfeed and I see this. Sam Moore posted this in Hip Hop DX. Nelly calls out Katt Williams for stealing joke from JB Smoove. Now, what was one of Katt's main points in the Shannon Sharpe interview? He pointed out how other comedians were stealing jokes from other comedians. For example, he pointed out how Cedric the Entertainer allegedly stole from Katt. And needless to say, to be fair, he did have a receipt to back that up. How is that? Well, Katt Williams appeared on Comic View back in the mid to late 90s, and he did a particular joke about, driving in some car, and Cedric essentially did the same joke on Kings of Comedy, but instead he edited it. And it's like, oh, this is a spaceship, he had the music playing, all that stuff. So you could look at that and say, those two things look almost identical, so yeah, there's reason to believe, like, okay, Cedric might have taken it from that, which nobody had pointed out in years and years. I mean, Kings of Comedy took place in 2000, and Katt Williams is just saying this in 2024. Only took 24 years, but okay. So now, here's what Sam Moore said in Hip Hop DX. Nelly has called out Katt Williams for allegedly stealing joke from fellow comedian JB Smoove. Appearing on the Maverick Carter and Paul Rivera hosted YouTube show The Shop alongside Cedric the Entertainer, the St. Louis rapper spoke about his issues with the controversial comedian. As Cedric was discussing his beef with Katt, Nelly chimed in and said, the hypocrisy of it is he stole JB Smoove's joke. The claim previously made by comedian Corey Holcomb, who said on the Wonder Tunes podcast, quote unquote, I dare somebody to say this ain't true because I can get 1,000 comics to back me up. I root for Katt, but that joke where he do like, man, if you listen to this song, you can do anything with this song. That's JB Smoove's joke. Now, I just went back and I had listened to the clip of JB Smoove doing that on Def Jam, which I think was 1996. Katt Williams later did that similar joke in his stand-up show, American Hustle, which took place in 2007 in Chicago. That was a great show, by the way. Clips were then shared online of Smoove performing the joke in 1996 on Def Comedy Jam and another of Katt Williams doing a very similar routine on his 2007 tour. Smoove himself has yet to comment on the alleged joke theft. Katt Williams had previously accused Cedric the Entertainer of stealing one of his jokes. During his viral appearance on Shannon Sharpe's Club Shay Shay podcast in January, Williams took aim at Cedric, saying he thought that I was just a no-name comedian, that he could take this joke and nobody would know. Well, see, and that's a fair point. That's the thing, like, hey, just because this person is a no-name now doesn't mean, just because they're a nobody now doesn't mean that they won't be somebody in the future. Now, to be fair, not every single comedian who's been on Def Comedy Jam and Comic View have all made it big. A number of them made it big. There's a number of people who've been on Def Jam. Steve, DL, Cedric, Bernie. They all got big. They did Kings of Comedy. They got bigger. Some of them did movies and stuff, all that. They had their own TV shows, their own sitcoms, all that stuff. Some of them got big. Eddie Griffin, Mike Epps. D-Ray, Aries, a number of them have. And then there's plenty of them. Same thing with Comic View. RNSJ was on there. Corey Holcomb was on there. Some more. A number of them didn't make it. Now, that was a miscalculation on Cedric's part. Maybe he didn't think Katt was going to get bigger and bigger. Well, he did. And now Katt Williams has, what, 8, 9 specials at this point? Probably more than that. I know some of them weren't recorded and released. I went to one of them in person. This one right here says, where was I at? Oh, sorry. The issue was that I had already done this particular joke on BET's Comic View twice. It had done so well on BET's Comic View that they made it part of the commercial. This is not a random joke. This is my very best joke, and it's my last joke, and it's my closing joke. He continued, 1998, I'm doing this joke on Comic View. Cedric comes to the Comedy Store. He watches me in the audience. He comes backstage. He tells me what a great job I did and how much he loves the joke. 2 years later, he's doing that as his last joke on the Kings of Comedy, and he's doing it verbatim. He's just changed my car into a spaceship. Yeah. Cedric immediately denied the accusation. Revisionist history, regardless of whatever Katt's opinion, my career can't be reduced to one Katt Williams joke, to one joke Katt Williams claims as his. I've been in over 40 movies. My specials and brand speaks volumes for who I am. That's what Cedric said. And that was the end of that. Let's see what some of the comments say about this. One person says there were similarities in the joke, but Katt Williams improved the joke. I don't think he stole anything. They're still mad at that man for speaking facts and being honest. One person here says, I like Katt Williams, but come on, he stole that. No different to Steve Harvey. I don't remember seeing anything that said Steve Harvey stole a joke. I mean, is it possible he has and I just might have missed it? I'm not sure. Let's see what one here says. And I'm probably sure it was used before JB Smoove. That's like an opener countless comedians use to get the audience going. Not much of joke stealing. And I think that's also fair to say too. But will Katt Williams come out and address this? Is he going to say like, hey, I saw that back then, but I just edited it? Or is he going to claim that he never saw it and he didn't realize it was being stolen? Or is it just going to be this agreement like, hey, this wasn't really a joke? Because a lot of comedians, especially black comics, go up on stage and they open with this music. They come out dancing and whatnot, kind of get the audience a little more energetic. And that's what JB was doing. That's what Katt did. A number of comedians have done that. So, I mean, I don't know. This one, I have a feeling that this one isn't going to be as big of a conversation as with the stuff coming from Club Shay Shay's interview with Katt, or even like the stuff right now that you see with Monique going to war with DL and Steve and them, Kevin, all that stuff. So, I don't know. I just kind of wanted to cover that. I mean, how much of this do you know? So, you give me your thoughts. I got more coming.